fairy gates. Blind with rows and rows of sharp teeth, a gaping void from which light does not escape. While the creature looks scary and evil as heck, its reactions are quite neutral. What you see is called a fairy gate. It is a subterranean monster that can be found in multiple locations around the world. For all of its sharp teeth, the monster is more or less stationary. It can move, but very slowly. Similar to a slug, it slowly oozes its way to a safe spot. Unlike a slug, it extends tendrils to latch onto its surroundings, allowing the fairy gate to fully extend itself. While these creatures used to be found predominantly in deep caves or underground pathways, as human society has evolved, they became more common in sewers. As a carrion eater, this is the perfect habitat. They usually eat corpses and waste products. Because their bodily fluids are highly toxic, they are unappealing to most predators. The fairy gate feeds by creating a strong vacuum with its open maw. The vacuum is strong enough to suck in small insects, dead animals, and waste products. In this manner, it effectively decontaminates the area it resides in. To anything larger than a rat, it is more or less harmless, as they'll just be able to resist the vacuum and walk away. Sucking prey into its maw is its only means of attack. The tendrils it uses to attach itself to walls aren't powerful enough to latch on to struggling prey and hold them in place long enough to be eaten. Plus, they are vulnerable to physical attack. A gun or a knife can easily dispatch the creature, though even a sharp stick will do the trick. So why is it important? Why isn't the fairy gate just an interesting but otherwise trivial thing to watch out for? The reason for our interest is what happens when you feed it silver. When the inside of a fairy gate is exposed to silver, it'll have a unique allergic reaction. The vacuum will increase in strength, and a light will appear inside the gate's mouth, almost as if a magnesium flare went off inside. The light will swirl inside of the fairy gate and make it spasm. This is obviously very painful for the creature. But what's important is what happens when someone walks inside it when the light is present. The fairy gate will instantly transport the invader to another fairy gate at another location anywhere in the world, expelling both them and the silver. It seems that all of them are connected, so a person could enter a fairy gate in California and emerge in London. It was by complete chance that an agent discovered this feature. They were in combat with another sewer-dwelling creature when they stumbled upon the fairy gate. The agent's silver watch was knocked into the fairy gate when he was tackled by his opponent. The teleportation response was triggered, and the agent, his watch, and the attacking creature were all expelled in a cave in Italy. While both the agent and the creature were dazed, the agent was able to recover faster and tranked his attacker. If it wasn't for the disorienting effect of the gate, the agent admits that he probably would have died. When the information was brought back to the agency, suddenly fairy gates had a whole new value. They were normally exterminated as a pest creature since they pose a risk of discovery. That policy changed when the option of instantaneous global teleportation became available. So research and experimentation with the fairy gates proceeded, and we quickly learned a lot of practical information. The first thing we learned is that silver is toxic to the creature, and too much is fatal. An amount the size of a silver coin is sufficient to trigger the teleportation response. If too much silver is used, the entire creature will burst into bright, white flames and burn to ashes. The upper limit in terms of mass for a single teleportation is about 1,000 pounds. This is true for both organic and inorganic matter. It allows for a lot of equipment to be transferred at one time. The cooldown for each use of silver is around 12 hours. It seems that the teleportation reaction is a last-ditch effort to get rid of something that can poison the creature, silver being one of the few things that is toxic to it. Lastly, the destination isn't random as we originally presumed. If that were the case, it wouldn't be too efficient except as an emergency escape hatch. But with time and experimentation, we were able to connect the dots and concluded that when silver is introduced to the creature, it connects to the fairy gate nearest to where the silver originated from, as in the location on Earth where it was mined from. The theory is that the local fairy gate would have better immunity to silver in its own location and could expel it more easily. With that discovery, Tons of silver was mined in various locations around the world and minted into emblems that could be handed out to all field agents. An effective network of ferry gates has been mapped out for use as a mass transit system, each with its own unique emblem that is stamped onto its corresponding silver tokens. It very much reduces the chances of agency exposure, eliminating the need to take planes or trains except where absolutely necessary. The agency is spared no expense in marking and securing waypoints in each city around the world. As a side note, experimentation using other precious metals was placed on hold after a sample of gold caused a test drone to vanish. No trace of its GPS tracker or those of other subsequent test drones has ever been found.